Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about interior car cleaning, and not so much on how do you, what products to use on what surface area, but more so on the structure you need to follow when you're tackling interior cleaning. Now, I can guarantee you this video will be very unique for interior cleanings that you really haven't seen anywhere else in terms of how to actually take on the car part by part. So, you always need a game plan going into a detail. You can't just say, this time it looks like this car needs XYZ, so I'm gonna custom make the layout of how I'm gonna type the car, and that's how I'm gonna go with. Now, of course, there's gonna be a case by case basis where that is gonna be the problem, where it's gonna be such a wild card of a car that you're gonna need to tackle it differently. But in terms of me and how I structure cars and how I think I'm so efficient, well, I know I'm so efficient, is that I have a very strong specific structure that I follow to make sure that every time I go around the car, it's the exact same way, so I'm less likely to miss any spots. It's kind of more I'm on auto mode, where I know exactly where to go without thinking about it, and because of that, I can go straight to it and just start cranking it out as quick as possible. So always try to have a systemized process for your cleanings, and this is going to apply also to basically anywhere, but we're focusing on interior, so it'll be just interior right now. But for headlights, for engine, for wheel cleaning, for washing, for paint correction, for coatings, all of that it's the same concept applied to everything across the board. So as we all may know, which part of the interior is the dirtiest when it comes to any interior? For the most part, yes, you're gonna have your maybe you have kids, it might be the back seats, but for the most part, it's gonna be the driver's side seat and area, the dashboard, center console, and all that's gonna be the dirtiest, because that's where the person is most actively driving. You need to be in the driver's seat in order to drive. So yes, like maybe if it's like a minivan or some car that just hauls kids, that area may be dirty. But I think more so it's gonna be on the driver's area. So what I'm going to talk to you about here is your willpower, and it's going to be funny, like willpower with interior cleaning. Yeah, so your willpower, right? How much, if you don't know what willpower is, just Google it. I'm not going to go into that, but your willpower in terms of how much energy you have to do whatever it is that you need to do. So let's say, for instance, this is your first car, right? And let's say it's a very, very dirty interior. This truck here is actually not that bad, to be honest. But let's say you are just starting off on a very, very dirty interior. Let's say it's a minivan, and you're estimating it's going to take you around 5 to 6 hours to complete, right? It's just a trashed minivan. So your willpower is always highest in the morning, right? When you wake up, your willpower is at the highest. You can make better decisions. You have more energy. Your cognitive skills are complete, and you can really focus in on specific problems, or you can really use your creative mind because your willpower is at the highest. Now, as your day progresses, as you make more decisions in your day, as you face more problems, as you have to solve more problems and use your cognitive skills, your willpower depletes. So at the morning, let's say it's 110%. By 2 p.m., 3 p.m., you're at maybe 60, 50, 40. And when you get to the let's say after a full days of work, right, from the morning, from 9 to 5, you have a very stressful day. You don't eat very well, you didn't get enough sleep, and then at 7 p.m. you say, I want to go to the gym. Then it's going to be very difficult for you to actually go to the gym, because your willpower is completely depleted. The willpower you need to muster up the will to go to the gym is not there, because you've already used most of it throughout the day. So what I'm trying to get at is, when you're going to start an interior cleaning, and any service, I'm telling you, but I'm just specifically saying interior cleaning. When you're going to start an interior cleaning, you want to start off with the heaviest, dirtiest part first, because if you have your full willpower here, right, and in this way, I'm talking in terms of each car, because let's say each car, we're gonna have a certain amount of willpower, a certain amount of energy, and as when we start, we're good, we're going, we're energetic, and then as the detail goes on, we start to get a little tired. We're getting tired of seeing the same car. We want to get it over with. So it happens with every car, right? Every car we go to, we're like, okay, we're pumped, we're ready to go. And then as the detail progresses, we're like, okay, I'm getting tired, I'm hungry, I want to leave now. It happens, right? So you always want to start off with the dirtiest part first. And in this scenario, it is the driver's seat, but maybe it's another car where, like I said, there's kids and the entire back row is just completely messed up. So the reason you want to start with that is because, again, your willpower at the highest, you have the most energy, you have the most focus. So you want to tackle the biggest problem first, and then handle everything else, because once you handle the biggest problem, everything else is not that bad. So you don't need that much willpower and energy to complete it. So let's say it's on, like I said, or let's just use this truck. Well, this truck's not that bad, so let's use the minivan example, where I said it's gonna take anywhere between 5 to 6 hours. If you ignore the dirtiest part first and go all the way around for, let's say, 2, 3, 4 hours, by the time you get to the dirty part, you're kind of tired, you want to get going, you're hungry maybe, so you're not going to put as much attention to it as you could as if you started with it first. So for me, when this is basically across the board with all cars, unless there's something specific about it, is I will always start with the driver's side area first, everything. So that would include doing, of course, the entire front dashboard, the seat, the center console, the door panel, and the headliner. So essentially everything that's included with the driver's side area, I will knock it all out, because this I know will be the dirtiest part. And after I knock this part out, following everything else is actually not as bad anymore. I mean, yeah, there'll be some specific areas here and there, but as long as I knock out this driver's side seat first, which is the most time consuming, right? Because there's a lot of nooks and crannies and things you have to get into that is a lot more tedious than the other parts of the car. Once I knock this part out, I could essentially fly by everything else. Now, when I say I can fly by everything else, that doesn't mean I literally finish everything else in the next 30 minutes. It just means in the driver's side area, that's when I'm really paying attention and looking, underneath, over, and really reaching my hand in different places, using different tools. And everything else, it's pretty straightforward, where it's not that bad. So I don't have to go looking that much to take care of the problem. Again, it depends on the specific car and the case by case and what's happening with the interior. But in terms of that, I'll spend maybe an hour and a half, depending on the car, on the front, on the driver's side, knocking everything out: the door panel, the steering wheel, the dashboard, the car mats, the floorings, the A-pillar, the headliner, all on the driver's side area, because that is the most time consuming. And after that, it's a lot less stressful, because I already know I've knocked out the biggest part. So not everything else is going to be smooth for me. And so that's the mentality you want to follow. So I'll give you a quick example for the exterior. Let's say you're doing some paint correction, and there's maybe you have there's norms to follow, or there's ways to follow to do paint correction. But let's say there's just like a panel or a section that just the worst part. Maybe you're gonna have to even color sand. And you should knock out that part first, because that's gonna be the most time consuming area. Don't try to do the entire car for 4, 5, 6 hours, and then it comes to the most heaviest part and you're just tired. Your quality is gonna suffer. It's gonna take you a bit longer because you are tired. So always start off with the toughest part first and then move on from there. And just as a side note to help you guys out, is make sure when you're gonna detail, you are eating breakfast, and you do have a good meal, and you do get your good sleep. Because again, this is a very labor intensive job, right? I mean, maybe if you're just starting off, you think, oh, I can knock out 4 cars in one day, I can do 100 cars in a month. This is a lot of grueling work. On the video on YouTube, it seems so it seems so easy and cool, seeing someone just like scrub an interior seat or do some paint correction on a car. But it is very labor intensive. You are gonna waste energy. It's a pretty cool day right now, so it's not that bad. But when it's steaming hot, you're completely drenched in sweat, you need to be hydrated. So those are just some extra tips that you need to follow when you're doing any type of detail, because again, it is labor intensive. You do use a lot of energy, and you need energy and strength to complete a detail at the highest level that you want. So definitely always consider that. Don't skip breakfast, don't not eat lunch, don't not take a break just because you're trying to finish faster, because in the long run, it's going to catch up to you quicker than just taking out the few minutes, 10, 15, 30 minutes to take a break. So to wrap it up, let me give you the process that I go through on every car. Like I said, I always start with the driver's side front area, and then I follow all door panels. So then I'll go around to every single door panel and get it to perfection, or to as the best quality that I can. And then from there, I will start from the front and then work my way back. So I'll start with the front dashboard on the passenger side, and then literally work on the seats, work on the console, and then go back to the other driver's side seat area. And then I'll depending on how bad the flooring is, I'll usually wait until the very end to vacuum, just because I'm stepping on the ground and they're bringing me back in, so I'm still hauling in dirt back into the car. So most times I just wait until the very end, depending how bad it is or how much work I'm doing on the interior, on the flooring. But for the most part, I will wait to the end, because I'm gonna have to vacuum again anyways, so I'll do that. And then I'd say the most time-consuming parts for me are going to be the seats. Overall, the seats. After that, I mean, everything was kind of tedious work. Again, it just depends on a case-by-case basis. But I follow that same structure all the way around on every car as best as I can, because again, it just puts me on auto mode and then I just go. That concludes this video. Again, as I mentioned, it wasn't going to be on actually how to detail the car, but more so on the structure you need to follow. This is as important as anything else, because you can have the best interior products, tools, the best process to clean a seat. But if you're working backwards over yourself, if you're gonna be losing time if you're not maximizing your efficiency to finish quicker. So always have in mind to always keep in mind that you want to get the best results in the shortest time frame, and you really want to maximize that for total efficiency, because again, you don't want to jump from the door panel to the seat, finish both halfway, and then jump to the headliner, and then just you're gonna be wasting too much time. So you want to work in a manner where you're gonna say where it's just your time is completely maximized and you're as efficient as possible to just knock them out hour by hour. So hope the video helps. Leave a comment down below on what you think about this process and what you kind of do on every interior cleaning. Again, you can visit detailgroove.co, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.